What up, YouTube? It's Jay Coffee on the vid, back with another hip hop blog, man. We're gonna get into a little throwback situation story here, man. And let me know what you guys think about this. But Diddy is known as being a grind ball. Some people say, when it comes to the contracts, Mace, the Locks, Black Rob, et cetera, we could go down the list, with the publishing and everything. But a lot of people say, yo, that was those artists bad. No one made them do that. No one held the loaded piece to their head and said, sign your publishing over. That's their bad. But then other people look at it like, Diddy had these artists in a situation where he had them waiting and they needed to get to the money. So they did what they had to do. And in certain situations, we've heard where artists said Diddy agreed to sell the publishing back to them later. And then when that later date came, he didn't, comply with what he said earlier. But regardless, I don't know, Diddy just kind of has that stain or tarnish on his image. Y'all let me know what you think of that. But this is interesting to me. It caught my eye in the headlines. One of the all-time greats, Pete Rock, been in the game forever. Dope icon in hip-hop. And he actually just dropped a new project called Pete'Strumentals 3. It's a sample-free album. I guess it's supposed to have like a jazz-type feel to it, as well as hip-hop incorporated in it as well. But I mean, hip-hop comes from jazz, I guess, right? But anyways, he's dope like that. Like, Pete Rock is just, I feel, to me, he's like an original dude. You know what I mean? Like, he really loves the music. He loves the art form. And, like, even if you check him out on social media, he's his own individual. He's like a trendsetter, definitely not a trend follower. But anyways, man, we're talking about how this album is sample free. I actually love samples. I love taking hearing an old classic beat and the way it's flipped into like a hip hop song, or I mean, not just hip hop. We've heard samples in other genres of music, but I just think it's dope because when I was growing up, you know what I mean? Really getting into hip hop, you remember like Puffy was all over the place with the samples. Puffy was, had so many samples he was using. Been Around the World, Can't Nobody Hold Me Down, Victory, that was from Rocky. Like, we could go down the list. Diddy, to his credit, like the samples used on those projects, I think are some of the best samples in hip hop history, maybe. I don't know. You guys could let me know, but that's hard one to call because there's just so many samples, tracks that people probably don't even realize are samples. But anyways, what we're talking about here is Pete Rock looking back on when he says Diddy jacked him. Diddy stole from him, as he's doing this interview with Hip Hop DX to promote this new Pete'Strumentals 3 joint. He's talking about back then. We're talking about Juicy, the smash hit off Ready to Die. And if you guys remember in the Biggie movie, when Puff played the record from the original song, that Juicy Fruit, that was crazy. But I don't know if it really went down like that, but that had me cracking up when he showed it to Biggie. And Biggie was like, man, these dudes look like Rick James, man. But the way they flipped that beat was hard on Juicy. Another dope sample, that Puff was involved with. But anyways, Pete Rock says, and I'm sure a lot of you guys heard of this the story before, maybe some didn't, but Pete Rock says he's moved on from it now, like he's cool. He chalked it up to that's the way the business goes. But at one point in time, he was hot as hell about this. He says Diddy stole it from him. The track is credited as being produced by Poke from the Trackmasters. But what he said basically went down was Diddy came to the crib. And, Pete Rock says that anyone who's ever been to his house can attest to that he always has music playing, because he loves music. He's always working on something. He's got different things playing, experimenting with music, all kinds of things like that. And he had the Juicy beat playing. And he says Puff heard it playing and was like, yo, this is hard. And he says he stole it. And he says he'll like fight till the death, to the day he dies. He will stand, strong on that he created the beat and Diddy stole it, and all he ever wanted was his credit, but he never got it. Now, Poke from the Trackmasters says that Diddy hit him up one day and said, yo, that Juicy Fruit beat, that's dope. And, Poke took it, played with it, and came out with the Juicy beat. And they met Biggie at the studio at the same time, and they put the track together like that, and the rest is history. Pete Rock claims he's the one, that started the blueprint for what would be the Juicy beat. Because this is what I'm saying. Regardless, I believe Pete Rock. It don't really matter what Jay Coffee Talk thinks at the end of the day, but based on, we don't know either of these guys personally. Well, some people maybe do, but I don't. And I'm sure most of the people that hear this video obviously don't know Diddy and Pete Rock. But just based on the character that I've seen presented to me by them, I believe Pete Rock. But all in all, if Diddy stole it, right, it would have had to go like Diddy heard it and then just explained it to Poke of the Trackmasters, and then he made his own version. Because you know what I mean? Unless Diddy came in there with some kind of recording device and recorded it and played it for him so he could duplicate it. You know what I mean? They wouldn't be the exact same versions. You know what I mean? Because from everything that I'm reading, researching on this, it doesn't seem like Pete Rock is saying that he had the beat like on a like he gave Diddy his copy of the beat that he made, and then Diddy did it. You know what I mean? It sounds like basically Diddy heard the way he flipped it and then went to someone else and said, yo, I got an idea, and they messed around with it and came out with their version of it. You know what I'm saying? But regardless, that's some sucker-ish, that's stealing, and I don't respect that. And I believe Pete Rock. You guys hop in the comments and let me know who you believe. But Pete Rock also ended up going on to say in this interview that he never got to work with Biggie before his passing, and he really wished that he could have. You know what I mean? And this situation kind of spoiled that from happening. It created some negative energy between them. But like I mentioned earlier, Pete Rock says he's moved on from it now. He ain't mad about it no more. He doesn't even want credit for it anymore. It was a lesson to learn from. As everything is a learning experience. You know what I mean? But hop in the comments, share your thoughts on this situation. New viewers, make sure to sub to the channel. It's Jay Coffee Talk, where we cover music, sports, news, much more over here. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm gone.